For over a century, cardiovascular disease has been the leading cause of death in the world. Do you ever get tired of hearing this statistic? I do, and I study this. Yeah, big deal. We all know cardiovascular disease is this huge problem, right? How do we do anything about it? How do we even make a dent? When something becomes so prevalent like cardiovascular disease, it's really easy to just accept that this is an unavoidable and inherent part of life. But really, becoming complacent with the extreme prevalence of cardiovascular disease is one of the biggest mistakes that we can make in terms of its potential impact on human health. Now, I'm doing my PhD in immunology, and you may be wondering, why am I studying immunology if I am interested in cardiovascular disease? Well, it's very common to study things like blood lipids and cholesterol and how these contribute to the development of these pathologies, but really, the damage in cardiovascular disease is caused not by blood lipids and cholesterol, but by your immune system's reaction to these elements. And so in essence, cardiovascular disease is a chronic, systemic, inflammatory disorder in which your cardiovascular system is burning slowly. So let's think about this a little bit more. Combustion requires two things, fuel and something to ignite it. In cardiovascular disease, the fuel is your immune system, and what ignites it are these circulating elements like blood lipids and cholesterol. When these come together, the result is this slow-burning inflammatory pathology that we know as cardiovascular disease. And so knowing this, it's really easy to understand why understanding the immune system is absolutely imperative to understanding cardiovascular disease. So, my lab utilizes a mouse model of chronic systemic inflammation that develops cardiovascular disease with complete penetrance and with many features that mirror human pathology. Through my studies, I've identified multiple inflammatory elements that, when inhibited, can not only prevent ignition of cardiovascular disease, but can extinguish it following onset. And so, my long-term goal is to use these results to inform development of a comprehensive model of cardiovascular inflammation that can subsequently be used to inform treatment decisions for the innumerable patients that are affected by these diseases. And so through a continued acknowledgement of its immune-mediated nature, and through a continued refusal to accept that this is an unavoidable part of life, the future of cardiovascular disease research and treatment is bright. And it really gets my blood pumping. Thank you.